The summit calls my name across the canyon of the street. I carved the map through every shadow in the storm, and felt the pulse of iron pounding underneath my feet. The engine rolls a symphony of grand ambition. The giants bow their heads as I ascend the final stair. I traded every doubt for this supreme position, and breathe the fire burning in the upper reaches of the air. The skyline bends to meet the motion of the master. The tower glass reflects the lightning in my steady gaze. The world is spinning slow while I am moving faster. The silent crowds are frozen in a cold and static haze. I planted flags upon the peaks of cold concrete, and turned the grit to diamonds with the pressure of the climb. The bitter taste of struggle made the victory sweet. I stand above the ticking gears and heavy hands of time. The ribbon splits wide to let the light pour through. The ancient sky is turning an electric shade of blue. The weight of the crown is exactly what I knew. The only ghost remaining is the one I have blue. The height is mine and the kingdom is wide. The stars are lighting on the rising tide. The concrete waves are crashing at my side. The hero has arrived with nothing left to hide. The sun is locked within my open palm. The storm had broken into perfect calm. The anthem rises like a mighty song. The universe is singing my victory song. The valley floor is just a memory of the hollow. The wind is whispering the secrets of the bold and brave. I led the way when nobody would dare to follow, and pulled the future from the darkness of a silent cave. The steel and stone are trembling in my command. The map is redrawn by the motions of my fingers now. I hold the heavy gravity within my hand. The heavens are the only thing to which I ever bow. The empire glitters like a million falling sparks. The shadows vanish as the brilliance begins to bloom. I left my signature upon the deepest marks, and chase the cold indifference from every hollow room. The finish line is just a starting gate today. The copper bells are ringing through the alleys and the squares. The old foundations crumbled and they fell away, while I climbed up the glory of 1,000 golden stairs. The ride is mine and the kingdom is wide. The stars are lighting on the rising tide. Concrete waves are crashing at my side. The hero has arrived with nothing left to hide. The sun is hot within my open mind. The storm has broken into perfect calm. The anthem rises like a mighty song. The universe is singing my victory song. The asphalt blows beneath the heavy weight of glory. The summit calls my name across the canyon of the street. I carve the map through every shadow in the story, and felt the pulse of iron pounding underneath my feet. The engine rolls a symphony of grand ambition. The giants bow their heads as I ascend the final stair. I traded every doubt for the pressure of the climb. The bitter taste of struggle makes the victory sweet. I stand above the ticking gears and heavy hands of time. The horizon splits wide to let the light pour through. The ancient sky is turning an electric shade of blue. The weight of the crown is exactly what I knew. The only ghost remaining is the one I outgrew. The hiding mind and the kingdom is wide. The stars are aligning on the rising tide. The concrete waves are crashing at my side. The hero has arrived with nothing left to hide. Sun is locked within my open palm. The storm has brought me into perfect calm. The anthem rising like a mighty song. The universe is singing my victory song. Yeah. The valley floor is just a memory of the hollow.
The wind is whispering the secrets of the bold and brave.
I led the way when nobody would dare to
I
follow.
blew the future from the darkness of a silent cave.
The steel and stone are trembling at my command.
The map is redrawn by the motions of my fingers
I
now.
hold the heavy gravity within my hand.
The heavens are the only thing to which I ever bow.
The inside glitters like a million fallen sparks.
The shadows vanish as the brilliance begins to glow.
I left my signature upon the deepest mark
And chase the golden difference from every hollow room.
The finish line is just the starting gate today.
The chopper bells are ringing through the alleys and the squares.
The old foundations crumbled and they fell away, while I climbed up the glory of 1,000 golden stairs. The horizon splits wide to let the light pour through. The ancient sky is turning an electric shade of blue. The weight of the crown is exactly what I knew. The only ghost remaining is the one I outgrew.
The heart is mine and the kingdom is wide. The stars are aligning on the rising tide. The concrete waves are crashing at my side. The hero has arrived with nothing left to hide. The sun is hot within my open palm. The storm has soaking into perfect calm. The anthem rises like a mighty song.
The universe is singing my victory song. The rusty gates are swinging wide tonight. Against the sulfur glow of dying light, I fix my grip upon the iron rod. Across a land that has forgotten God, the dust is rising from the heavy tread of boots that march along the restless dead. My chest is tight beneath the leather high, with nowhere left for any soul to hide. Let the thunder shake the hollow ground till the very stars are beaten down. Will not bend, I will not seek to save upon the sharp and bitter jagged clay. Fury rises like a tidal flood, every pulsing vein of ancient blood. Stand alone against the howling gale until the weary sun begins to pale. The shadows lengthen on broken pane, the scent of salt and charcoal in the rain. They seem to break the spirit in the bone, but I have carved my destiny in stone. The flags are torn and weeping in the wind, a payment for the ways the world has sinned. No mercy lingers in the freezing air, only the heavy weight of being there. Let the thunder shake the hollow ground till the very stars are beaten down. Will not bend, I will not seek to shave upon the sharp and bitter jagged blade. Fury rises like a tidal flood, rip my pulsing vein of ancient blood. Stand alone against the howling gale until the weary sun begins to pale. The
The mountains tremble at the coming roar, as old as time and twice as deep as war. I cast my shadow long across the mud and face the dragon in the rising flood. The white flag flutters in the smoky gray. I hold my breath and drive for fear away. Let the thunder shake the hollow ground till the very stars are beaten down. I will not bend, I will not seek the shade upon the sharp and bitter jagged blade. Fury around is like a tidal flood. Every pulsing vein of ancient blood will stand alone against the howling gale until the weary sun begins to pale. Let the thunder shake the hollow ground till the very stars are beaten down. I will not bend, I will not seek the shade upon the sharp and bitter jagged blade. Fury around is like a tidal flood. Every pulsing vein of ancient blood will stand alone against the howling gale until the weary sun begins to pale. Rusted gates are swinging wide tonight against the soulful glow of dying light. I fix my grip upon the iron rod across the land that has forgotten God. The dust is rising from the heavy tread of boots that march among the restless dead. My chest is tight beneath the leather hide, with nowhere left for any soul to hide. Let the thunder shake the hollow ground till the very stars are beaten down. I will not bend, I will not seek the shade upon the sharp and bitter jagged blade. The fury rises like a tidal flood through every pulsing vein of ancient blood. I stand alone against the howling gale until the weary sun begins to pale. The shadows lengthen on the broken plain, a scent of salt and charcoal in the rain. They seek to break the spirit in the bone, but I have carved my destiny in stone. The flags are torn and weeping in the wind, a payment for the ways the world has sinned. No mercy lingers in the freezing air, only the heavy weight of being there. Let the thunder shake the hollow ground until the very stars are beaten down. I will not bend, I will not seek the shade upon this sharp and bitter jagged blade. The fury rises like a tidal flood through every pulsing vein of ancient blood. I stand alone against the howling gale until the weary sun begins to pale. The mountains tremble at the coming roar, as old as time and twice as deep as war. I cast my shadow long across the mud and face the dragon in the rising flood. No white flag flutters in the smoky gray. I hold my breath and drive the fear away. Let the thunder shake the hollow ground till the very stars are beaten down. I will not bend, I will not seek the shade upon the sharp and bitter jagged blade. The fury rises like a tidal flood through every pulsing vein of ancient blood. I stand alone against the howling gale until the weary sun begins to let the thunder shake the hollow ground until the very stars are beaten down. I will not bend, I will not seek the shade upon the sharp and bitter jagged blade. The fury rising like a tidal flood through every pulsing vein of ancient blood. I stand alone against the howling gale until the weary sun begins to pale.
asphalt veins bleed into a bruised twilight, where the cobalt shade settles over heavy slate. The blueprint curls beneath the thumb of the night, while the ghosts of the senses gather at the gate. Heavy shadows pulling in the cracks of the grid, tracing lines where the old foundations are hid. A drafting pin carves a trench through the slum, dividing the silence from the gathering roar, calculating how the concrete kingdom becomes a map for the rich and a cage for the poor. The ink is a river that won't ever flow, mapping the places where sunlight won't go, and the master plan is etched in a shade of cold sapphire. A geometry of power grown in a freezing flame. They move the pieces higher while the spirit grows tired, giving every dead end alley a brand new name. In the dark navy belly of the metropolitan design, we are just a decimal point crossing the line. The zoning board sits in a cathedral of smoke, coloring the districts in a predatory hue. They bought the horizon before the morning broke, and sold the perspective back to the few. The transit lines are shackles on a dusty wrist, tying the neighborhoods into a tighter fist. Indigo towers cast a long cynical glare over the parcels where the families used to sleep. There is a scent of calculated malice in the air, and a promise that only the surveyors can keep. The territory's marked by a structural lie, written in the tin of a midwinter sky, and the master plan is etched in a shade of cold sapphire. A geometry of power drawn in a freezing flame. They move the pieces higher while the spirit grows tired, giving every dead end alley a brand new name. In the dark navy belly of the metropolitan design, we are just a decimal point crossing the line. Measure the distance between the hunger and the steel, quantify the sorrow that the bricks cannot feel. A demographic shift in a stroke of a hand, burying the pulse underneath the demand. The map is a weapon like the architect's wheel, turning the garden into a sterile battlefield. And the master plan is etched in a shade of cold sapphire. Their geometry of power drawn in a freezing flame. They move the pieces higher while the spirit grows tired, giving every dead end alley a brand new name. In the dark navy belly of the metropolitan design, we are just a decimal point crossing the line. And the master plan is etched in a shade of cold sapphire. Their geometry of power drawn in the freezing flame. They move the pieces higher while the spirit grows tired. The asphalt veins bleed into a bruised twilight, where the cobalt shade settles over heavy slate. The blueprint curls beneath the thumb of the night, while the ghosts of the senses scatter at the gate. Heavy shadows pulling in the cracks of the grid, tracing lines where the old foundations are hid. A drafting pen carves a trench through the sun, dividing the silence from the gathering roar, calculating how the concrete kingdom becomes a math of the rich and a cage for the poor. The ink is a river that won't ever flow, mapping the places where the sunlight won't go. And the master plan is etched in a shade of cold sapphire, a geometry of power drawn in a freezing flame. They move the pieces higher while the spirit grows tired, giving every dead end alley a brand new name. In the dark navy belly of the metropolitan design, we are just a decimal point crossing the line. The zoning board sits in a cathedral of smoke, coloring the districts in a predatory hue. They bought the horizon before the morning broke, and sold the perspective back to a few. Transit lines are shackles on a dusty wrist, tie the neighborhoods into a tighter fist. Indigo towers cast a long, cynical glare over the parcels where the families used to sleep. There is a scent of calculated malice in the air, and a promise that only us surveyors can keep. The territory is marked by a structural lie, written in the tint of a midwinter sky. And the master plan is etched in a shade of cold sapphire, a geometry of power drawn in a freezing flame. They move the pieces higher while the spitter grows tired, giving every dividend out of your brand new name. In the dark, maybe better of the metropolitan design, we are just a decimal point crossing the line. Measure the distance between hunger and steel, quantify the sorrow that the bricks cannot feel. A demographic shift in a stroke of a hand, burying the pulse underneath the demand. The map is a weapon that the architects wield, turning the garden into a sterile battlefield. And the master can etched in a shade of cold sapphire, or geometry of power drawn in a freezing flame. They move the pieces higher while the spirit grows tired, giving every dead end valley a brand new name. In the dark navy belly of a metropolitan design, we are just a decimal point crossing the line. And the master plan is etched in a shade of cold sapphire, a geometry of power drawn in a freezing fire. They move the pieces higher while the spirit grows tired, giving every dead end valley a brand new name. In the dark navy bay of a metropolitan design, we are just a decimal point crossing the line. The asphalt maps the lines across this territory, where the local elders hold the heavy keys. We don't look for badges or the flash of sirens, just a steady wind moving through the trees. Every porch is occupied by watchful shadows, reading the static on the broken radio wire. There is no ledger kept by a distant master, only the warmth of a shared and communal fire. I saw a man mending a fence near the border. He didn't ask for papers or a name. He just handed me a jug of mountain water and said the seasons here are never quite the same. We settle our accounts by the setting sun. No whistles blow to start or end the day. The gravity here is a law we all acknowledge. from rusting far away. This is the breathing room of the uncounted, where the silence is a garment we all wear. No iron bars to keep the ghosts from wandering, just the thick and humid fragrance of the air. We are the architects of our own quiet, the masters of the dirt beneath our feet. Without a gavel or a heavy hand of justice, making the bitter taste of freedom sweet. The children learn the language of the river, how to listen when the timber starts to groan. They don't recognize the symbols of the empire or the monuments carved out of stolen stone. If a neighbor falls, we lift them by the shoulder. If a barn is burning, everyone arise. There is no manual for this kind of living, only the tangled history of our lives. The hounds are sleeping soundly by the gateway. They haven't heard a stranger step in years. We traded in the armor and the helmets for a way to navigate our collective fear. Sometimes the traveler wanders through the thicket with a story that he's desperate to tell. We give him bread and a place to rest his spirit before we bid him a long and silent farewell. The stars are needles stitching up the darkness. The valley is a cradle deep and wide. We found a way to govern every heartbeat with nothing left to justify our hide. This is the breathing room, the uncounted, where the silence is a garment we all wear. Now iron bars to keep the ghosts from wandering, just the thick and humid fragrance of the air. We are the architects of our own quiet, the masters of the dirt beneath our feet. The asphalt cracks beneath the weight of progress. The iron beams are reaching for the throat of the sky. I mark the map with a charcoal fist while the scavengers watch the concrete rise. Nothing stays small under this potch. We pull the horizon closer with every breath. My boots grind the gravel into a finer dust. The blueprints are stained with salt and grease. Build it taller just to prove the gravity won't stretch the borders until the fences scream. The machinery hums a low, heavy crowd, feeding on the space they used to belong to the quiet. The frame is rigid and the pulse is cold. We carve the names into the bedrock. There is no room left for the hesitant, only the hunger of the expanding dream. More ground to break, more steel to weld. The empire is a muscle flex against the dark. Tear down the old and feed the new machine. The world is getting smaller under my thumb. We are the architects of the loud and the hard, defining the limits just to push them away. Oh, slick rainbows on the cooler pavement, the center hot metal and determined swept. I am the engine and the wrecking ball. I'm letting the void into a fortress of noise. The blueprints bleed into the soil, a permanent stamp on the skin of the earth.
Tear down the old to be the new machine. The world is getting smaller under my thumb. We are the architects of the loud and the hard, defining the limits just to push them away. Steel to weld. The empire is a muscle flex against the dark. Tear down the old to feed the new machine. The world is getting smaller under my thumb. We are the architects of the loud and the hard, defining the limits just to push them away.
Asphalt maps the lines across this territory, where the local elders hold the heavy keys. We don't look for badges or the flash of sirens, just a steady wind moving through the trees. Every porch is occupied by watchful shadows, reading the static on the broken radio wire. There is no ledger kept by a distant master, only the warmth of a shared and communal fire. I saw a man bending a fence near the border. He didn't ask for papers or a name. He just handed me a jug of mountain water and said the seasons here are never quite the same. We settle our accounts by the setting sun. No whistles blow to start or end the day. The gravity here is a law we all acknowledge, while the bureaucrats are rusting far away. This is the breathing room of the uncounted, where the silence is a garment we all wear. No iron bars to keep the ghosts from wandering, just the thick and humid fragrance of the air. We are the architects of our own quiet, the masters of the dirt beneath our feet. Without a gavel or a heavy hand of justice, making a bitter taste of freedom sweet. Yeah. The children learn the language of the river, how to listen when the timber starts to groan. They don't recognize the symbols of the empire or the monuments carved out of stolen stone. If a neighbor falls, we lift them by the shoulder. If a barn is burning, everyone arise. There is no manual for this kind of living, only the tangled history of our lives. The hounds are sleeping soundly by the gateway. They haven't heard a stranger step in years. We traded in the armor and the helmets for a way to navigate our collective fears. Sometimes a traveler wanders through the thicket with a story that he's desperate to tell. We give him bread and a place to rest his spirit before we bid him a long and silent farewell. The stars are needle stitching up the darkness. The valley is a cradle deep and wide. We found a way to govern every heartbeat. There's nothing left to justify or hide. This is the breathing room of the uncounted, where the silence is a garment we all wear. No iron bars to keep the gaze from wandering,
just the thick and humid fragrance of the air. We are the architects of our own quiet, the masters of the dirt beneath our feet. Without a gavel or a heavy hand of justice, making the bitter taste of freedom sweet. Yeah.
Asphalt price beneath the weight of progress. The iron beams are reaching for the throat of the sky. I mark the map with a charcoal fist while the scavengers watch the concrete rise. Nothing stays small under this watch. We pull the horizon closer with every breath. My boots grind the gravel into a finer dust. The blueprints are stained with salt and grease. Build it taller just to prove the gravity wrong. Stretch the borders until the fences scream. The machinery hums a low, heavy ground, feeding on the space they used to build on through the quiet. The frame is rigid and the pulse is cold. We carve the names into the bedrock. There is no room left for the hesitant, only the hunger of the expanding grid. More ground to break, more steel to weld. The empire is a muscle flex against the dark. Tear down the old and feed the new machine. The world is getting smaller under my thumb. We are the architects of the loud and the hard, defining the limits just to push them away. Oh yeah. All slick labels on the cooling pavement, the center hot metal and the turbine sweat. I am the engine and the wrecking ball, converting the void into a vortex of noise. The blueprints bleed into soil, a permanent stamp on the skin of the earth. The frame is rigid and the pulse is cold. We carve the names into the bedrock. There is no room left for the hesitant, only the hunger of the expanding grid. More ground to break, more steel to weld. The empire is a muscle flex against the dark. Tear down the old to feed the new machine. The world is getting smaller under my thumb. We are the architects of the loud and the hard, defining the limits just to push them away. Hey, oh yeah. More ground to break, more steel to weld. The empire is a muscle flex against the dark. Tear down, rebuild to feed the new machine. The world is getting smaller under my thumb. We are the architects of the loud and the hard, designing the limits just to push them away. Oh yeah, yeah. More ground to break, more steel to weld. The empire is a muscle flex against the dark. Tear down the old to feed the new machine. The world is getting smaller under my thumb. The asphalt exhales a heavy gray steam beneath the soles of boots worn down by the grind. Steel skeletons reach for a hollow crown, while the traffic crawls like a fever in the mind. I watch the shadows stretch across the brick, counting the seconds by the flickering lamp. The air tastes of salt and burned rubber in a basement hallway, smelling of the dam. A distant siren leads into the brickwork, mapping out the veins of this concrete shell. Nobody speaks, but the walls are screaming. rattling the wind, a rusty melody of blocks and heavy chains. We all just ghosts in high-rise windows, washing our hands in the falling rain. The pavement thrummed against my tired heels, a vibration moving through the marrow and the bone. The pressure rises in the pipes underground, a language that the silent buildings own. Listen to the heavy thud of the living, the clockwork movement of the iron and the clay. It is the drum kept by the walking millions, the sound of a world that cannot look away. Feel the shudder in the foundation stones, the steady motion of the restless and the deep. It is the breath of a stone giant, moving while the tired people sleep. A discarded rapper dances in the gutter, chasing the gutter, tracing circles on a patch of frozen oil. Frozen oil. The subway grate exhales a warm metallic breath, rising from the dark and a frantic coil. The newsstand is buried under yesterday, a monument to things we forgot to say. Every brick carries a thumbprint of the lost in this valley where the sky is always spray paint gray. The pavement thrums against my tired heels, a vibration moving through the marrow and the bone. Pressure rises in the pipes underground, a language that the silent buildings own. Listen to the heavy thud of a living, the clockwork movement of the iron and the clay. It is the drum kept by the walking millions, the sound of a world that cannot look away. Feel the shadow in the foundation stones, the steady motion of the restless and the deep. It is the breath of the tone giant, moving while the tired people sleep. The asphalt exhales a heavy gray steam beneath the soles of boots worn down by the drive. Steel skeletons reach for the hollow crown, while the traffic crawls like a fever in the mind. I watch the shadows stretch across the brick, counting the seconds by the flickering lamp. The air tastes of salt and burn rubber in a basement hallway, smelling of the dam. A distant siren bleeds into the brickwork, mapping out the veins of his concrete shell. Nobody speaks, but the walls are screaming stories that the morning paper won't tell. The corner store shutters rattle in the wind, a rusted melody of locks and heavy chains. We are just ghosts in high-rise windows, washing our hands in the falling. The pavement comes against my tired heels, a vibration moving through the marrow and the bone. The pressure rises in the pipes underground, a language that the silent buildings own. Listen to the heavy thud of the living, the clockwork movement of the iron and the clay. It is the drum kept by the walking billions, sound of a world that cannot look away. Feel the shut up in the foundation stones, the steady motion of the restless and the deep. It is the breath of the stone giant, moving while the tired people sleep. A discarded rapper dances in the gutter, tracing circles on a patch of frozen oil. The subway greeted tails a warm metallic breath, rising from the dark and the frantic coil. The newsstand is buried under yesterday. yesterday, a monument to things we forgot to say. Every brick carries a thumbprint of the lost in this valley where the sky is always spray paint gray. The pavement drums against my tired heels, a vibration moving through the marrow and the bone. The pressure rises in the pipes underground, a language that the silent buildings own. Listen to the heavy thud of the rhythm, the clockwork moving a beat higher than the clay. It is the drum kept by the walking millions, sound of a world that cannot look away. Feel the shut in the foundation stones, the steady motion of the restless agony. It is the breath of the stone giant, moving while the tired people see. Ooh, yeah. Concrete poles beneath my worn-out soul, tapping out a cold, only the pavement knows. Iron veins running deep through the city frame. I wrote my destiny before I had a name. Stepping off the curb with a heavy lean, the freshest silhouette this block I've ever seen. No permission, there's just a crown claim. The asphalt furnace keeps the spirit untamed. Check the stride, the way I cut the crowd, in silence while the sirens scream loud. Graffiti murals watching every single move, finding the friction just to catch a groove. Steel girders reaching for a slice of gray, chasing down the shadows of a frantic day. Got the heritage locked in a steady grip, never let the focus of the footing slip. This is the kingdom built on grit and heat, the anthem rising from the heavy street. The swagger in the walk, the fire in the chest, standing taller than the skyscrapers at rest. Pay the tribute to the legends in the bricks, living every second for the frantic fix. This is the swagger, this is the soul, the city beating out of our control. Broken glass glittering like fallen stars, tracing all the stories and the ancient scars. Nothing comes for free in the canyon wind, but we keep on pushing where the light is thin. The spirit of the giants in the copper wire, feeding the hunger and the native fire. Chain link fences and the steam from bands, the only palace for the restless and the band. Turn the corner where the hustle never sleeps, keeping every promise that the gutter keeps. I carry the lineage in my very stride, nowhere left for the weak to run and hide. Just the raw power of a moving throne, writing our history where we belong. Silver train rattling the window panes, the heavy adrenaline pumping through the veins. Every alleyway is a secret bullet hole, reading the warnings called upon the wall. I walk with the ghosts of the pioneers, drowning out the static and the hollow fears. One foot down and the other hits the ground, on the entire silence and a deafening sound. This is the kingdom built on grit and heat, we anthem rising from the heavy street. The swagger in the walk, the Zion in the chest, standing taller than the skyscrapers that rest. Paying the tribute to legends in the bricks, living every second on the frantic fix. This is the swagger, this is the soul, the city building out of fire. This is the kingdom built on grit and heat, the anthem rising from the heavy street. The swagger in the walk, the Zion in the chest, standing taller than the skyscrapers at rest. Pay the tribute to legends in the bricks, living every second for the frantic fix. This is the swagger, this is the soul, worn out souls. Tapping out code, only the pavement knows. I am veins running deep through the city frame. I wrote my destiny before I had a name. Stepping off the curb with a heavy lean, the freshest silhouette this block has ever seen. No permission asked, just a crown claim. The asphalt furnace keeps the spirit untamed. Check this out the way I cut the crowd. Speak in silence while the sirens scream loud. Graffiti murals watching every single move. Finding a friction just to catch a groove. Steel girders reaching for a slice of gray. Chasing down the shadows of a frantic day. Got the heritage locked in a steady grip. Never let the focus or the footing slip. This is the kingdom built on grit and heat. The anthem rising from the heavy street. The swagger in the walk, the fire in the chest. Standing taller than the skyscrapers that rest. Pay the tribute to the legends in the bricks. Living every second for the frantic fix. This is the swagger, this is the soul. The city breathing out of our control. Broken glass glittering like falling stars. Tracing all the stories in the ancient scars. Nothing comes for free in the canyon wind, but we keep on pushing where the light is in. The spirit of the giants and the copper wire. Feeding the hunger and the native fire. Chain link fences and the steam from vents. The only palace for the restless and the band. Turn the corner where the hustle never sleeps. Keeping every promise that the gutter keeps. I carry the lineage in my very stride. Nowhere left for the reach to run and hide. Just the raw power of the moving throng. Riding out history where we belong. Silver trains rattling the window panes. The heavy adrenaline pumping through the veins.
Every alleyway is a secret golden hall. Reading the warning, scroll upon the wall.
I walk with the ghosts of the pioneers, rounding out the static and the hollow fears.
1 foot down and beyond the hissing ground. Own the entire silence and the deafening sound.
Oh, this is the kingdom built on grit and heat. The anthem rising on the heavy street. The swagger in the whack, the fire in the chest. Standing taller than the skyscrapers I read. Ace tribute to the legends in the bricks. Living every second for the frantic fix. This is the swagger, this is the soul. The city breathing out of our control. This is a kingdom built on grit and heat. The anthem rising from the heavy street. The swagger in the walk, the fire in the chest. Standing taller than the skyscrapers at rest. Pays a tribute to the legends in the bricks. Living every second for the frantic fix. This is the swagger, this is the soul. The city breathing out of our control.
Asphalt bleeds a bruised shade of indigo under heavy clouds that refuse to break or leave. I walk where the steam rises from the iron veins, counting the rhythmic pulse of a city half away. Every footstep carries the weight of 1,000 goals, lost in the hollow geometry of these towering walls. The air tastes of cold copper and forgotten prayers, while the traffic hums a low frequency of despair. Look up at the glass eyes peering from the ledge. They are documenting every flicker of our pulse, mapping the silence between my heavy breaths. Feel it in the data to a God we never name. Woo! The blue hour swallows the arriving whole. We are shadows dissolving in a silver frame. A million lenses blinking in the velvet dark, tracing the patterns of unholy architecture. No one is truly hidden in this wide expanse. Just fingers across the wet brick, sorting the secrets we buried in our coat pockets. The signal moves through the wires like a slow fever, connecting the strangers who will never touch. I feel the invisible gaze through the misty pain, a persistent hum that vibrates in my marrow. We are the subjects of a grand and quiet study, moving through the grid like ink in a basin.
Look up at the glass eyes peering from the ledge. They are documenting every flicker of our pulse, mapping the silence between my heavy breaths, feeding the data to a God we never named. The blue hour swallows the iron hole. We are shadows, your wing in a silver frame. A million lenses blinking in the velvet dark, tracing the patterns of a lonely architecture. No one is truly hidden in the spider expanse, just another coordinate on a glowing screen. The sky in a mirror made of cold surveillance, reflecting the blues that we call our own. The blue hour swallow the horizon whole. We are shadows dissolving in a silver flame. Million lenses blinking in the velvet dark, tracing the patterns of a lonely architecture. No one is truly hidden in the spot expanse, just another coordinate on a glowing spring. The sky is a mirror made of cold surveillance, reflecting the blues that we call our own.
Asphalt bleeds a bruised shade of indigo under heavy clouds that refuse to break or weep. I walk where the steam rises from the iron veins, counting the rimmed pulse of a city half awake. Every footstep carries the weight of 1,000 goals, lost in the hollow geometry of these towering walls. The air tastes of cold copper and forgotten prayers, while the traffic hums a low frequency of despair. Look up at the glass eyes peering from the ledge. They are documenting every flicker of our pulse, mapping the silence between my heavy breaths, feeding the data to a God we never named. The blue hour swallows the horizon. Oh, we are shadows dissolving in a silver frame. A million lenses blinking in the velvet dark, tracing the patterns of a lonely architecture. No one is truly hidden in this wide expanse, just another coordinate on a glowing screen. The sky is a mirror made of cold surveillance, reflecting the blues that we call our own. Street lamps cast long fingers across the wet brick, sorting the secrets we buried in our coat pockets. The signal moves through the wire like a slow fever, connecting the strangers who will never touch. I feel the invisible gaze through the misty pain, a persistent hum that vibrates in my marrow. We are the subjects of a grand and quiet study, moving through the grid like ink in a basin. Look up at the glass eyes peering from the ledge. They are documenting every flicker of our pulse, mapping the silence between my heavy breaths, feeding the data to a God we never named. The blue hour swallows the horizon. Oh, we are shadows dissolving in a silver frame. A million lenses blinking in the velvet
illuminate on a glowing screen. The sky is a mirror made of cold veins, reflecting the blues that we call on. The blue hour swallows the horizon. We are shadows evolving in a silver frame. A million lanterns blinking in the velvet dark, tracing the patterns of a lonely architecture. No one is truly hidden in this wide expanse. It's just another coordinate on a glowing screen. The sky is a mirror made of gold surveillance, reflecting the blues that we call on. The blue hour swallows the horizon. Oh, we are shadows dissolving in a silver frame. A million lenses blinking in a velvet dark, tracing the patterns of a lonely architecture. No one is truly hidden in this wide expanse. Just another coordinate on a glowing screen.
Pavement stones piled like a marble hall, shadows stretching tall against the brickwork wall. No velvet cape trailing in the gutter rain, just the heavy stride of a spirit without a chain. Hands buried deep in the denim of my jeans, surveying every corner of this concrete scenes. I don't need a scepter to command the block. The silly heartbeat pulses like a ticking clock. Iron gates open as I drift on by, mapping out the empire underneath the sky. Graffiti on the pillars tells a story told of a lineage of hustle and a heart of gold. Traffic stops short for the sovereign step, keeping all the secrets that the alley kept. I carry the weight of the skyline on my back, leaving silver footprints on the charcoal track. This is the kingdom where the hungry reign, walking through the fire in the sudden pain. I wear the glory like a second skin, watching all the doors as they let me in. The crown is invisible but the power stays, lighting up the darkness of the narrow ways. Stand on the summit of the regal street, with the pulse of the earth beneath my feet. This is a kingdom where the hungry reign, walking through the fire and the sudden pain. I wear the glory like a second skin, walking all the doors as they let me in. The ground is invisible but the power stays, lighting up the darkness of the narrow ways. Stand on the summit of the regal street, with the pulse of the earth beneath my feet. Steam rising up from the metal graves, destiny's knocking at the rusted gates. I recognize the language of a grinding gears, the silence of the brave and the ghosts of years. Not a single diamond on my weary brow, but I own the future and I own the now. Swagger in the motion of a restless soul, keeping every fragment of the vision whole. Steel towers bowing to the morning light, victory is etched in the fading night. Every single window is a watching eye, witnessing the spark as it travels high. Throne is a bench by the subway line, where bitter water turns to vintage wine. Climbing up the ladder made of jagged slint, leaving every dollar with a golden hint. Yeah! This is the kingdom where the hungry reign, rise through the fire and the sudden pain. I wear
with the glory like a second skin. Watching all the doors as they let me in. The crown is invisible, but the power stays. Lighting up the darkness of the narrow way. Stand on the summit of the regal street. The pulse of the earth beneath my feet. This is the kingdom where the hungry lay. Walking through the fire on a sudden day. I wear the glory like a second skin. Watching all the doors as they let me in. The crown is invisible, but the power stays. Lighting up the darkness of the narrow ways. Stand on the summit of a regal street with the pulse of the earth beneath my feet.
Paving stones polished like a marble hall. Shadows stretching tall against a brickwork wall. No barricade trailing in the gutter rain. Just the heavy stride of a spirit without a chain. Hands buried deep in the denim of my jeans. Surveying every corner of these concrete scenes. I don't need a scepter to command the block. The city heartbeat pulses like a ticking clock. Iron gates open as I drift on by, mapping out the empire underneath the sky. Graffiti on the pillars tells a story told of a lineage of hustle and a heart of gold. Traffic stops short for the sovereign step, keeping all the secrets that the alley kept. I carry the weight of the skyline on my back, leaving silver footprints on the charcoal track. This is the kingdom with a hungry rain, walking through the fire and the sudden pain. I wear the glory like a second skin, watching all the doors as they let me in. The crown is invisible, but the power stays, lighting up the darkness of the narrow ways. Stand on the summit of the regal street with the pulse of the earth beneath my feet. This is a kingdom where the hungry reign, walking through the fire and the sudden pain. I wear the glory like a second skin, watching all the doors as they let me in. The crown is invisible, but the power stays, lying at the darkness of the narrow ways. Stand on the summit of the regal street with the pulse of the earth beneath my feet. Steam rising up from the metal brakes. Destiny is knocking at the rusted gates. I recognize the language of the grinding gears, the silence of the brave and the ghosts of years. Not a single diamond on my weary brow, but I own the future and I own the now. Swagger in the motion of a restless soul, keeping every fragment of the vision whole. Steel towers bowing to the morning light. Victory is etched in the fading night. Every single window is a watching eye, witnessing the spark as it travels high. With one is a bench by the subway line, where the bitter water turns to vintage wine. Climbing up the ladder made of jagged flint, leaving every doubter with a golden head. This is a kingdom where the hungry reign.
the pulse of the earth beneath my feet.
Steel toes grinding on the asphalt skin, the concrete furnace breaths as I begin, mapping out the grid with a heavy stride. No room for the weak where the wolves reside. Out the corner where the shadows bend, every brick and alley is a loyal friend. The gatekeeper of the city heat, tracing my name on the fevered street. I engage rattle when I pass the gate. Heavy is the crown and the master plate. The skyline bows to the way I move, finding the notch in the jagged groove. I don't ask for space, I just take the room. Watch the sidewalk flowers start to bloom, under the weight of a sovereign soul, taking the pieces and making them whole. This is the kingdom built on grit and bone. I claim the throne and I stand alone. The pavement post is the law I wrote. The king of the block in a heavy coat. No one crosses the line I draw. My word is the gospel, my hand is the law. I am the anchor in the urban flood. This territory flows inside me blood. Look at the buildings reaching for my height. I am a spark in the belly of the night. No silver spoon, just a fist of lead, moving through the jungle where the brave are fed. Count the footsteps and the heavy toes. I am the shepherd of the wayward souls, keeping the balance on the edge of a blade in the empire that the struggle made. Every siren is a song for me, the master of the urban decree. I read the graffiti like a holy text, deciding who stays and who goes next. The wind whistles through the wire fence. The atmosphere is heavy and the air is dense. Well, I breathe it in like a royal wine. Everything the light touches is mine. This is the kingdom built on grit and bone. I claim the throne and I stand alone. The pavement pulses a lower road. The king of the block in a heavy coat. No one crosses the line I draw. My word is the gospel, my hand is the law. I am the anchor in the urban flood. This territory flows inside my blood. Steel toes grinding on the asphalt skin, the concrete furnace breaths as I begin, mapping out the grid with a heavy stride. No room for the weak where the wolves reside. I own the corner where the shadows bend. Every brick and alley is a loyal friend. The gatekeeper of a city heat, tracing my name on the fevered street. I engage rattle when I pass the gate. Heavy is the crown and the master blade. The skyline bows to the way I move, finding the notch in the jagged groove. I don't ask for space, I just take the room. Watch the sidewalk flowers start to bloom, under the weight of a sovereign soul, taking the pieces and making them whole. Oh, this is the kingdom
struggle made. Every siren is a song for me, the master of the urban decree. I read the graffiti like a holy text, deciding who stays and who goes next. The wind whistles through the wire fence, the atmosphere is heavy and the air dense, but I breathe it in like a royal wine. Everything the light touches is mine. Yeah, this is a kingdom built on written bone. I claim the throne and I stand alone. The pavement pulses the law I wrote. The king of the pie